In the last story, we spoke about the birth of our children. 25, 30 years later, they got married and we had a series of weddings. Maria Zoe was married in Zoldo. She reckoned, and her future husband, Graham, reckoned that it was cheaper to have a wedding here and fly people from America than have a New York wedding. And we had a very pleasant week together with Graham's family, lots of our family, and it was a beautifully sunny day in August, and we had some really nice photographs outside the church in Pieve in Zoldo. And then we went to the now defunct Corinna Hotel, where Fabrizio and Alessandro Votto prepared non-stop meals until about 4 o'clock in the morning when people went to sleep. That was Zoe. A little later, Alex got married, this time in France. And in France, they have two weddings, a civil wedding, and then a couple of months later, the religious wedding. What I remember about the civil wedding is that after they'd signed all the documents inside the town hall in Pibrac, they came out and there was the usual set of photographs, and suddenly Alex returned and started banging on the town hall door, saying, let me in, I've changed my mind. But the mayor or his substitute had gone home and Alex was landed with Sandrine for the rest of his life. The civil wedding took place down the road and was officiated by an old friend, Don Carlo Besonnet, a French priest, but who had established himself in La Storta during the long time that we lived there. It was a great occasion, again, lots of food, lots of drink, and the following day, various games in the big garden of the mansion where everyone was staying. For Polly's wedding, Tito decided that if it was held in Zoldo, he would have to invite everyone from the valley, 3,000 people or so, because they all know him. So the alternative was to jump on a Ryanair flight, go to Seville, and a bus to Chiclana. And about nearly 100 people from Zoldo flew down, and Tito and Amapola were married in the same church as Amapola's parents nearly 50 years earlier. A really pleasant occasion, again, with two families meeting together and spending time together. The same for Charlie. He was married near his home in Varese, in a town called Somma Lombarda. And again, guests in a hotel, civil, religious wedding, and lots of food and drink and celebrations for really happy events. Gian Marino and Tracy, on the other hand, got married in Holland in 1996. It was a civil wedding, and we drove over from Aylesbury in England through the tunnel and arrived in time for a very early wedding at 9 o'clock in the morning. Not only was it early, but it was quick. And by 10 o'clock, we were back in Gian Marino and Tracy's flat, playing cards with one of the few guests who was invited, Rami. And that is the sum of weddings to date.